super excited to invite our special guest, Michelle Richardson, on another purpose journey and experience. So, Michelle, where are you from?
Hi, I'm from Melbourne, Australia.
Beautiful. And we are going to dive in together and hear your purpose journey and story. So, unfold. So, I'm super excited. And I want you to take a moment to just think about the day where you got clear on your purpose or your passion and how that unfolded, even if in that moment you weren't really super clear that that was the day that it clicked, that aha moment. Let's take your audience, take us all to that moment and tell us the journey, your story, and your experience. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Rose. Well, it was in the back of the classroom, watching the leaders on stage, sharing the stories of greatness, of what they wanted to achieve, year 12, back in 1984. And I'm staring at the window, not hearing anything except stand up and tell your story. But I couldn't speak. I just watched the birds fly in the sky, dreaming of being that person on stage and sharing my purpose. But yet I didn't feel I had a voice. And who would want to listen to me anyway? And that was the beginning of meeting amazing people who led me down the path to where I am today.
Wow. So take us
Yeah.
along the journey.
Okay. Started back, I was born a triplet, 3 gorgeous girls, but we were looked at everywhere. Everyone looked at us. So I got a real deep complex that there must have been something weird about me. You know, people just looked at you, right? But we were 3 beautiful blonde girls dressed in red, green, and blue. I was red. And I loved mixing with people, old people, young people. And my first job helping people, I was 8 years old. My mum sent me down the road to help this little boy, the same age as me. He had walking difficulties and in calipers, probably polio or something, I wasn't sure, you know, and I was just helping him with the physiotherapist. And I didn't think twice about it. And I'd go to my neighbours and have a cup of tea with my neighbours. They were probably 50, but I thought they were very old. They're my age now. And I put the hair in curlers, these beautiful women, old women. And I just loved helping people. Only because I couldn't really communicate or be with my peers because I felt really ashamed of the way I spoke, and I just hid from everyone. Yeah. So school was very difficult. I was bullied a lot, and I always sat next to the one fat kid. This is back in the 80s, right? Where you could say things like that, and I was very much a square. You know, wasn't the cool kid. My sisters were cool, and I was just the one out of 3. I was very odd, but odd in a good way now that I see it. So it was my journey. That was the beginning of understanding my gift, because I didn't understand I could see things, I could hear things like spirits and all sorts of mystical things. My hands were healing hands, but I didn't know what that was. The heat out of your hands, the energy. And my mentors along the way, even in my teenage years, being with physiotherapists, but they weren't just physios, they were healers. But I didn't understand that principle back then. I wasn't until in my late 40s, really, that I started to really connect with the innate intelligence and really understand what that is, the spiritual connection of talking to a spirit. And I've got the ability to talk to people's spirit, and they don't even know I'm doing it.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And, and people say, well, how did you know that? I go, well, I just feel it. And I don't say too much because that freaks people out. I don't speak to spirits like relatives, not all those wonderful psychics out there. That's not me. But I delve into people's innate intelligence. They tell me what they need to heal for the individual. It's very,
Mm.
very cool. And that interlates with lymphology and lymphatics. How's
Wow,
that?
beautiful. So I
Yeah.
love this journey so far. What was the moment where you found your voice?
My when my sister passed away in my arms,
Mm.
she was 52. I'm 57 now. And it was 3 a.m. in the morning. We're in the USA trying to find answers for breast cancer after a 5-year battle. And I don't even call it a battle now, but she told me she didn't want to be here on Earth. So she left and said, Michelle, you got to finish the mission that we started together. Said, thanks, Julie. Really? How am I going to do that? She goes, people will start to listen. You'll find your voice and just step up. And I had to. I couldn't let her down. And I
Wow,
went to the US to help Julie heal, but it was my healing journey, not hers.
that is, wow, that is so beautiful. And it's you're a triplet, and your triplet's name is Julie. My twin's name is Julia.
Oh, you're a twin. Oh my God. And since then, I've got a team around me now, and I'm recognized as one of the top leading lymphologists in Australia. And I'm working closely with the director of lymphology in Arizona, USA. And my team or other practitioners, they've got names of my sisters.
Wow.
Yeah, all of them, whether it's a middle name or actually the name. There's Jules, there's Julie, there's another Julie, there's a Sharon, and that's the name of my sister. So it's really uncanny, but I don't know. I just don't know. But it doesn't matter about not knowing, is it? It's about just going with the flow.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
for those who don't understand or don't are not aware of what lymphology is, can you share a little bit about the benefits and the health and how that can benefit people?
Sure thing. Love to. Okay, the lymphatic system is the most important system next to the blood. If it is not working, we die in 48 hours. It's the rubbish bin of all your waste. Now, our organs, skin, cellular structure is porous. The waste seeps out in between the spaces of the cell, ready for the lymphatic system to pull it out, process it as pure water through the lymphatic nodes and vessels back into the bloodstream, through the top of the neck, the conveyor vein, back into the heart, where it makes red water, picks up the oxygen, makes oxidated red water, blood, and makes plasma, which are all the nutrients. Okay. But what happens when we have too much waste? The body starts to swell with water, and that's waste. and it becomes hard and lumpy. So that's lumps in the breast. Cellulitis, the lumps on our legs, lumps around the stomach. And then when we get rashes or pimples or things on the skin, that's the actual waste trying to get out. Because the body doesn't want to be sick. It wants to be pure, like us. But we can't just eliminate the waste once it becomes hard and crystallized. It needs to be broken down by electricity. Now we are electricity. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It
Yeah.
is such a great explanation, and it's so clear how it helps us and how the system works. I knew theoretically, but that was such a great way of explaining it. So that, yeah, thank you.
I must have a, I don't know, I must be very unique and very odd because I've never been to the doctor since I gave birth to my daughter 32 years ago. I haven't had a test, no blood test, no medication, no pain, nothing. But I deal with hundreds of people with all issues in their tissues from as young as babies right up until 99 years old.
Wow. And so your secret is self-healing and just, clearing your lymphatic system and just keeping everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That is,
talking to yourself, talking to your spirit, because that drives your mechanics.
mm,
Everything in your body is driven by your spirit. You don't even know you're doing it.
it's
And
our
this is the
unconscious.
core, beg your pardon?
It's in our unconscious that we're kind of
Yes,
doing all these
yeah,
things.
yeah. Programming. But that programming can be really tipped upside down by a belief system. And that's when we get in trouble. That's when we search outside us. And that's what happened to Julie because she didn't trust. And it's funny because my sister was very godly into religion and into faith. But yet that wasn't enough to get her healed. She had serious anger issues from childhood. And that's the emotional frequency that drags the body to despair, illness, disease, then death. But all that can be reversed by lymphology.
Wow. Yeah, those
Yeah,
those pent up emotions, anger and, frustration and stress, they're not fun. They're big big killers in the whole world.
yeah, yeah. Well, even the Western scientists and research know of this, but it's not talked enough. And that lowers the frequency. So when we lower the electricity, then the electricity can't break down the crystallization of clumped excess blood proteins that have gone hard, like kidney stones or stones in the gallbladder or calcification hill spurs. Just calcification that's been stuck onto areas that shouldn't be there. But when we're in normal health and no stress and living a free, wonderful life, the body can get rid of it. But we're in constant stress. The body hasn't got enough electricity to break that down because it's too busy us running in
Mm,
fear or fight. Yeah.
yeah. So what
So
advice
I could,
would you give what advice would you give to someone who is kind of stuck with like anger issues or these pent up emotions that are really affecting their body and showing up as kidney stones and all these different
yeah.
reactions,
Oh,
diseases.
great question. Great question. The first thing is education, understanding why your body is behaving like that because it can't get resolved with medication or any other modalities. You can get managed, and that's okay for a very short term. I'm not saying not do it, but it's not the principle of healing oneself. okay? The healing oneself is understand what the emotional entrapment and clearing the issues of calcification in the cells by doing lymphatic drainage. That's all it is. The top sports people, top models do lymphatic drainage. They've been doing it for decades. The top people know how to heal themselves because they have to look good because their body sells them, right? Al McPherson, all those people, right? If they didn't have a perfect body, they wouldn't be able to work. They have to find a way to keep that body in perfect health, emotionally, physically, nutritionally, spiritually, right?
Yeah.
So guess what they do? Lymphatics.
Wow. Yeah, it's such an all-encompassing way of curing your body.
And once you clear the waste out of your body, guess what? Come on, guess. You have a clean slate.
Mhm.
The frequency is gone. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
that's
Because
beautiful. Yeah.
the cell interests in memory. That's a subconscious. The memory subconscious there for us to keep us out safe, right? Once you clear out the cellular memory, get rid of the junk, it's blank. So if you're grieving from a loved one from 10, 15 years ago, and you have lymphatic drainage, it will clear out that memory. But you'll be able to remember that person, but be in a neutral frequency and go, oh, God, I'm not as sad anymore. What's going on? And this is what happens when we do lymphatic drainage or lymphology. They go, I feel lighter. I feel different. And they go, why? I go, you don't have to understand it. Just accept it. Yeah?
Just
Just
be
like
happy.
the phone works, but how does it work? I don't know. But I know I just accept it works. And this is a whole new way we got to change healthcare. And this is what I want to do, 100lymphologists.com, a whole new platform. Get out there, speak it, work with Western practitioners. I'm not against anyone. We all work together, be amazing. We just have to drop the egos and just say, well, mine's not working as much as yours, or mine's not working as much as yours. Maybe we could all work together instead of, having that. I have people, the worst thing is that people come to me when they're at rock bottom.
Mhm. Yeah,
I had a gentleman, can I share one story with you?
sure, please.
I had one gentleman who came 1 week from today, walked in with crutches, 40-year-old, 3 kids on the age of 10, hated COVID, got and he got some injuries from stuff and was feeling really crappy. And his knees were starting to swell, he's round shouldered, and his father had to drive into my clinic. And he said, look, Michelle, I don't know if you can help me, but I've tried for the last 4 years to get out of pain. He's 40. I said, don't worry, you'll walk out of here with no crutches. He goes, okay. She's a big no for herself. And he walked out with no crutches.
The same day?
Walked out. Yeah, 1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour
Wow.
lymphatic of energy healing, getting electricity, boosting up. And I actually said to him, and this is the thing I say to all my people who come to me, right? They're not clients, they're not patients, they're just people. And I said, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. And he goes, what? You mean there's nothing wrong? I said, there's nothing wrong with you. And that changes into what? Healing.
Healing.
Because
Yeah.
when you think there's nothing wrong with you, you think, oh my God, I smell. Something wrong with me. And with just changing his mindset with one sentence, he goes, and 1, 2, 3 sessions, and today, total different man, 90% out of pain, changed everything around. He's just amazing in 3 sessions.
Wow, that is
Got rid
amazing.
of, yeah, got rid of the calcification, cleared out the waste, cleared out all his anger on COVID. He hated COVID, didn't we all? Right? But there's nothing we could do about it. If they
Yeah,
could, we would, right? So we
yeah,
just have to get out of the anger and go, oh, well, shit happens, you know?
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for sharing the story, for sharing the journey. And I just want to celebrate what you have created out of, this amazing purpose, and now that you're spreading that and sharing your wealth and your wisdom and really helping us all get back to our pure state of mind,
Yeah,
intelligence, body, health, and wealth. Really, that's the abundance that we all search for in life, is to just have a pure body, mind, and soul. So I really want to appreciate you and celebrate you for what you're doing. And I'm excited to hear and see more, and see those 100 lymphatic doctors all get together and, spread
yeah.
this knowledge even more. So thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome. It's been my honor, and thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure.